JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. Victims of Old Harbour Road crash identified. The victims of a collision near Shedwin Park along Old Harbour Road in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, on Monday morning have been identified. They are 44-year-old Carlos Price of Burnside Valley, Red Hills, St. Andrew, and a 26-year-old Shandy Williams of a Westmoreland address. According to reports, around 5 a.m., Price was driving his 2005 grey Honda Fit, while Williams was behind the wheel of a 2012 grey Nissan Altima when the vehicles collided in the vicinity of Shedwin Park. The impact left both cars extensively damaged, and the driver was trapped inside the mangled wreckage. They were subsequently transported to the Spanish Town Hospital, where they were pronounced dead. Officers from the Accident Investigation and Reconstruction Unit processed the scene to begin investigations. The damaged vehicles were later removed. Two brothers shot, one fatally in St. Anne. Two brothers were shot, one fatally, by intruders at their home in Pimento Walk, Ocherius, St. Anne on Sunday. The deceased has been identified as 19-year-old Jaim Brown. His 17-year-old sibling is in serious condition. According to the police, about 6:30, armed persons kicked in the front door of the house and opened fire. Jaim, who was shot in the back, died at the scene. His brother was wounded in the abdomen and the leg. He was assisted to hospital where he was admitted. The gunman escaped on foot in the area. Man arrested in Spanish Town for alleged gun and ammunition possession. The St. Catherine North Police have arrested a 40-year-old man for alleged breaches of the Firearms Act. About 4:45 a.m., a police party was reportedly called to the scene of loud explosions at a bar along Walks Road, Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Upon arrival of the team, the suspect was allegedly observed with a bulge in his waistband. The police accosted him and conducted a search of his person and reportedly discovered a 9mm pistol affixed with a magazine containing 13 rounds of cartridges. The police say initial checks revealed that he didn't have a license or permit for the weapon. He was taken into custody on suspicion of possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition. The suspect's name is being withheld pending further investigation. Jamaican woman killed in Bronx, New York. A Jamaican woman died after she was found inside a Wakefield building in Bronx, New York, with stab wounds on Saturday. Authorities say they discovered the 40-year-old victim, Tamara Rowe, with wounds to her chest and right arm at 667 East 232 Street. She was taken to hospital where she succumbed to her injuries. Police sources say the death stemmed from a domestic dispute and that Rowe's partner stabbed her. Police at the scene said investigators confiscated surveillance video showing a man fleeing the apartment building using the stairs around the time the stabbing happened. Rowe reportedly lived in the building with her boyfriend and daughter. Bus overturns along Mandela Highway. The police are investigating a vehicular crash along the Mandela Highway in the vicinity of Hydel High School in St. Catherine after a public passenger bus overturned. The bus plies the Spanish Town St. Catherine to downtown Kingston route. Several passengers were transported to the Spanish Town Hospital where they are receiving medical care.
Please make sure everybody alright. No hospital. No hospital, Lord. Nobody can hold my bus. Watch out. Take my time on that. Oh my God, the people. When they come ground, help them, please, help them. Must have come take up some. One next one there.
BPM filed suit against 10, claiming $100 million stolen over a year. BPM Financial has filed a lawsuit against the former manager and 9 other people, claiming that $100 million was stolen from the company over a year. The suit filed on April 30, 2025 in the Commercial Division of the Supreme Court accuses the individuals of fraudulently misappropriating client funds between August 2023 and September 2024. 5 others face restitution claims for allegedly receiving stolen proceeds. The claim hinges on 3 core allegations: systematic theft, where the former manager held a position of trust, violation of fiduciary duty and contractual obligations, and collusion. BPM is seeking full repayment plus damages. This marks Jamaica's latest major fraud allegation since the Stockton Securities Limited matter, in which more than 200 accounts lost over $3 billion, including funds tied to Usain Bolt's Wellgen Limited. Only ex-employee Jean Panton has been charged. She remains in remand, awaiting a May 2026 trial. Despite attorney to return to court October 22 on fraudulent conversion charge, recently despite attorney Anna Miller-Swell, who is accused of swindling a client of a little worth $37 million in a real estate transaction, is to return to the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on October 22. Miller-Swell, who is on a $1 million station bail, had a stop order and reporting conditions added to her bail when she made her first court appearance this morning on fraudulent conversion and the possession of criminal property charges. The charges arise from a real estate transaction between January and March 2024, during which Miller-Swell was detained by a client to purchase a property in Red Hills, St. Andrew, valued at $57 million. The client reportedly paid over the full amount, expecting the transaction to be completed within 60 days. However, the deal reportedly collapsed when only $19 million was allegedly transferred to the vendor. Attorneys Bert Samuels and Matthew Hyatt are representing the accused. Meanwhile, the General Legal Counsel struck Miller-Swell from the role of attorneys authorized to practice in Jamaica following a finding of professional misconduct in May. She has also been ordered to make full restitution immediately. Death of Chinese businessman highlights need for Old Causeway Bridge restrictions. The tragic death of a Chinese businessman on Sunday morning has prompted urgent calls from senior police officers for the permanent closure of the Old Causeway Bridge to recreational fishing, as law enforcement officials warn that the location continues to pose a deadly risk to the public. The deceased has been identified as 62-year-old Jin Wong Wong of Oakfield Avenue, Kingston 10. According to reports, about 10:05 a.m., Jing had been fishing with relatives along the bridge when it began to rain. He reportedly returned to his motor car and attempted to execute a U-turn when the vehicle plunged over the edge of the bridge into the sea. His motionless body was recovered hours later through the rescue efforts of the Marine Police, Coast Guard, the Jamaica Fire Brigade, and the private divers. The crumpled motor vehicle was also removed. Sergeant Canute Nairn, a member of the Police Marine Division, said law enforcement personnel encountered difficulties during rescue efforts.
We tried to pull everything, but it was just not available. The Coast Guard divers were all the way over in St. Anne. Chopper had to fly them in, which would have taken us another hour and a half. So local divers pulled together and would have assisted in their resources. We would like to say thanks to them, to Max Diving and crew, so they would have played a great part until Coast Guard come afterwards and join them. But our response time was good. All the other entities, he would have gone fishing with friends and family, and the rains came and he packed up his things, put in his car, and whilst making a U-turn, it went over to the right side of the bridge where we're standing now. Now, we would have pulled our resources from Marine Headquarters, JDF Coast Guard, Fire and Rescue, JFB, and we would have gotten assistance from professional divers and other local fishermen from the area. As we see here now, the wreckage has been removed by Century Wrecking, and the body was retrieved by the divers and handed over to Tranquility for further processing. The report that came in about 20 to 10:30 a.m. and the official happenings would have been about 10:05. I would advise persons not to fish on this bridge. It is a restricted area. No one is allowed up here. You come at your own risk. There are rules, fishing gears, life vests. These are not being adhered to by persons who fish. So you might want to fish casually, but bear in mind the safety measures, or you will have to suffer the consequences.
Sergeant Nairn said repeated warnings about the danger of fishing in the area have gone unneeded. Would have come and told these same people this is a restricted area, no fishing, but they disobey during their recreational fishing, the sergeant recalled. While pointing out that it was unsure that Jing had been part of the previous group of Chinese nationals, they are fishing on the bridge, they are not wearing any vest. And if he had a life vest, we don't know if it would have made a difference as he was in the car. But they don't wear vests. They don't do anything to protect themselves, more than throw the rocks, and sometimes fish pull them in the water. Nguyen stressed that Jing is not the first to lose his life in the area and will not be the last unless something is done. Consequently, he appealed for the area to be permanently restricted to the public. It is a danger to persons who want to fish, he said, while noting that although the area is on private property, no one should be fishing there. We have dragged many bodies that have floated to this area because of mishaps during fishing. So please, I am begging persons to be cautious, he said. The sergeant noted further that the police do not have the resources to patrol the area continuously. Assistant Commissioner of Police Christopher Phillips, who oversees Area 5, also expressed similar calls for the area to be restricted to the public. They are not willing to decide, and so it poses a serious risk. So it's something that the authorities would want to look into, and that would require us to restrict that area until it is safe for persons to venture into that space, he said. Phillips said an investigation will be launched into the incident to determine what truly happened. It sounds very bizarre how things happen, so we want to be satisfied that we don't have something else dealing with, he said. Meanwhile, family members and friends broke down in tears as they watched in horror and disbelief while his lifeless body was pulled from the sea. A woman, who was pointed out as his sister, was inconsolable as she wailed and was tasked with removing blood from his injured face moments before the body was removed from the scene. Others were observed fighting back tears while some sank to the ground, overwhelmed with the weight of the tragedy. Among those gathered were not just relatives, but staff from Jing's Kingston-based business who remembered him as very nice, easygoing, and a quiet employer. The staff said they were shocked and deeply saddened by the incident. "Me couldn't believe when me get the call," said one worker, who sometimes accompanied one on the fishing trips. "Yesterday me and him talk and today gone. It shocked me, man." JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.